Born an innocent girl, trying to find love in this cold, cold world. False promises, trying to...
Peace and love, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Talisha Davis at birth. I evolved into gingerbread as I began my craft as a musician. I then evolved into Nabet Meshkanet, which is my spiritual name. And it's more about purpose. My spiritual name is all about birthing the purpose and what are your intentions for your life? What is the divine purpose for your life? What is your meshkanet? What is your spiritual calling? What is your purpose for God having you here in this lifetime? And that is so important to know before you go off and really do anything. But, some of us just do what we got to do and we fast forward through life. And a lot of times we're moving out of alignment of our divine purpose. So as I begin my spiritual journey and going through it all, it was revealed to me that my purpose is to actually help others birth their divine purpose and tap into that spiritual purpose, that calling for your spirit. This is my testimonial for Sacred Woman and the Sacred Woman program and my experience with it. I've been planning to do this video for over a year now. It just wasn't the right time. It wasn't time for my testimony yet. Like when I first came out of Ascension, it just wasn't time for my testimony. I was still feeling like I was figuring it out, and I am still figuring it out, but I can see clearer. I can see better. Let's rewind. Many, many years ago, a prophet told me that I was a part of the spiritual family of Erykah Badu. I had no idea what he was talking about. It completely went over my head. I didn't know what to do with that information. All I knew was Jesus, right? And what happened? I went through a very tough life. Certain things I went through. I signed my first contract in the music industry with my kingpin manager. I had no idea he was a kingpin until he went to jail. That was crazy. And I was like loyal to a fault because every time I meet someone, I'd say, talk to my manager and give them my manager's contact and not build the relationship myself. So when my manager went down, all the network went down too. So I learned a whole lot about networking and just being loyal to a fault, right? Then after that, I was in the church hard. Ended up meeting someone in the church, and I thought he was going to be my husband. We were going to get married and everything. And we had one little fight, first fight ever. And he literally held me hostage. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't leave. If I had to go to the bathroom, he'd walk me to the bathroom. He'd walk me, like I couldn't leave. I tried to escape out the window. He pulled me back in, like held me hostage. It was the first time I experienced real trauma in my life. And I was finally able to escape and run out, but that trauma was so heavy. And then I didn't get the proper healing from that. And I kept going in another relationship and it was just never working because I was never able to deal with the first set of trauma that I had, which was feeling unloved and unwanted and unappreciated from my parents. And just feeling like that as a foundation will put you in relationships that are very toxic, okay? So without healing and dealing with those first relationships with your parents, it'll just continue until you're able to honestly address it and really handle everything in honesty. So from there, I needed healing, but I kept getting faced with more and more just devastating issues. And over time, it wore me down to the point where I got diagnosed with lupus in 2018. And then I got fired from my job the same week. And I was like oh my God, what am I going to do? So I ended up being blessed by the Most High with a job with GT's Living Food, which is kombucha, which is a probiotic, which helps with gut health and everything that you need to really help the digestion work properly. So I was working with them, and I was also learning deeper into spirituality. So I was listening to people like Bobby Hemmett and other individuals who were teaching pray to your ancestors, which this is something I was never doing. This was foreign to me. And we were taught that, if we pray to anybody but Jesus, we're going to hell. So it made sense to me that like a conversation to my mother on the phone could be like a conversation to my grandmother who passed away on the other side. It doesn't take away from God having a conversation with a loved one. So, I had to figure these things out. I started practicing, and then I started noticing the Most High pulling me in different directions. I got invited to an Oscar party where I met these beautiful queens. One was a belly dancer and a waist bead maker. The other was a crown maker, and she also held high vibrational events based on elevation and goddess energy and things like that. So I got in connection with them. I felt their energy was so powerful, so loving and different. I was used to the what's up bitch, and this and that, and all this crazy nasty energy was normal, and I always kind of felt conflicted by conforming to that, like I didn't feel like that was me. So when I met these goddesses, I was like, oh yeah, this is like more my speed. They're more like, yes, queen, you are so divine, we are beautiful, this and that. It was just very positive, powerful energy. So I really enjoyed them, and I ended up exchanging information. At the time, I lost my job, but I, like I said, got the new job. So I told them, hey, if you have any events, I can sponsor the kombucha. And sure enough, they had an event, and I got invited to sponsor it. And Queen Afua was there, and I was like, oh, wow. Now, my only knowledge of Queen Afua before this was when Nipsey Hussle passed. And there was a GQ interview of him and Lauren London.
What was the last book I read?
I don't know the title, I know the author. I know it's a Queen Afua book.
There you go, Sacred Women. Yeah.
I'm in tune, man.
And it just bing, bing, bing went off in my radar. So if you hear things that stick out in your mind, pay attention to it, because it's a reason for things. You see a million things a day. So if one thing stands out in your mind and sticks, follow that and see why does it stick, because that stuck. Like a month later, I got invited to the event, and Queen Afua was there, and I was like, whoa. And then I started learning about her and realizing, I don't know if I told y'all, a prophet told me I was a part of Queen Erykah Badu's spiritual family. So I didn't know what that meant, but as I started learning about Queen Afua, I learned Erykah Badu was a sacred woman. And I started going back to remember that prophet saying that I was a part of Erykah Badu's spiritual family, and it started coming together. So I was like, I think I'm supposed to do this Sacred Woman program. And I went to sign up for it, and I looked at the price, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'll ever be able to afford this. And I really kind of gave up on it because I still mentally wasn't where I needed to be as far as like believing what I can afford, I guess, So the Most High did what the Most High does. Some things transpired, and over time I was able to have the money to join Sacred Woman. I did. I actually was, during COVID, ended up getting my CDL and became a truck driver. Had more than enough. Was practically living over the road, and I did the Sacred Woman program in an 18-wheeler. I do not recommend that to anybody, okay? Don't do that, okay? But it's definitely what got me through. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have made it through that program. I don't think I would have made it through trucking alive, okay? Sacred Woman definitely gave me tools to push deeper and stronger through my limits. Just to say, Sacred Woman is a 12-week program that is going to develop your spirit and get you in tune with the universe, okay? It's going to sink you in with nature, if that makes sense. So it's like you'll start to see synchronicities in things that you can't even control, like numbers will pop up. That's one of the first things. I see certain animals, I see certain symbols and signs and words, and oh gosh, it just lets you know God's right there working this whole thing, and it kind of just helps you relax in watching what God is doing versus you just like trying to control everything. Because that was me, trying to control everything. And Sacred Woman just taught me how to fall back and get in tune with the universe. It taught me to figure out I'm an air sign, which means I'm more in tune with the spirit of things. And I'm more concerned with the collective. And I learned so many things, the different gateways, the power of my womb, how to listen to my womb. I'm so grateful. And I know that the Most High is orchestrating all of this for our best, okay? And when we're in tune with what the Most High is doing, it's not as hard to go through these things. You're able to let things happen and trust and maintain faith, if that makes sense. For me, at least, because this is my spiritual family. And I know that because I can see it in my peace, in my clarity, and my understanding of things as they unfold in my life. You're going to go through 12 gateways of just deeply getting to know yourself better. You're going to grow so much. You're going to do things you never thought you could do. It really depends on you and what you put into it. Because if you put into it, you're going to get out. You're going to get out. But there are some people who give up, or who can't keep up, or who might not be ready. So I would say make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready. Make sure that you know it's for you. If you feel like it's for you, but you can't afford it, don't let that stop you. Just keep knowing I'm going to get there. It's going to happen in divine time. I'm going to get to ascension, and you'll get there. Ascension is so beautiful. Oh, it's just the most beautiful experience. Like, it gave me the tools I needed. It gave me the tools. It tapped me into my power. It taught me that I'm valuable. It taught me I'm worthy. Sacred Woman taught me everything that I needed to activate the next part of my life. It's been a year since Ascension, like a year and a month. Like she said, I remember when we ascended and they're like, how long do you need to finish healing and move on? And she's like, you don't need to rush. It doesn't need to be, right away. And I remember that people were saying a year, 9 months, 2 years. And I was like, I want it right now. I want it today. And now looking back, I can see why it wasn't then. Because now that I've gone through everything, I see and I appreciate that it takes time. I'm grateful that it takes time. Back then, I wasn't powerful or strong enough to see it. I was just upset. Like, I want it now. Ugh. God, thank God for growth. Thank the Most High for life. Yeah. Give thanks and praise to Mother Moot, Queen Afua, Queen Esther. I love them both dearly. Queen Afua is the word, and Queen Esther is the beat. And together it sticks. The beat and the word. You need them both. to stick.
You get that tune up, and you start to feel the vibe, or you just open your mouth and the Most High will speak through you.
That's right. And that is the key. Because no matter what is happening here today, my beloved, and no matter what has happened in the past, we have to know that our lives are miracles. And we have to focus on gratitude no matter what has happened. We have to give thanks and praises. Well, we are here now. We represent our ancestors from generations in the past to generations in the future. So we want to thank you, because we can clearly see that you didn't have to do it, but you created me.
You know, Sacred Woman is my medicine. Sacred Woman is where I go when I need that pure love. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I ascended in Meshkinet, and I was able to perform my song Heal, which you can also see on YouTube. I did a music video for it right around Ascension. I was able to perform that for my sea stars, and oh gosh, I'll never forget it. But I'm so grateful. We are the women. We are the healers. If you feel called to Sacred Woman, just know you'll be there. You will be there, and it will happen in the most divine time, and you will have all the tools that you need. You have all the tools already. It's just your spirit syncing with the truth and really knowing all of your energy has to sync with that reality. So it's a practice, and Sacred Woman definitely teaches it. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing so much more along the way, but give thanks and praise. I'm sending Unk and Myrrh love your way. Peace and love to you and yours. Healing, love, and light. Until we meet again, Ashe.
Go hard.